Hello all, welcome to Ambari Cloud YouTube channel. Today I will be presenting Hive Parquet files to Icehouse's migration. Okay. So in the first demo, I'm going to walk through Icehouse's architecture. Then I'm going to show how to copy Hive Parquet files to cloud. Everybody knows mostly, but I'm going through the demo so you can practice. Then how to convert Parquet files to Iceberg table. So here we will know Hive table DDL. So we're going to convert into Iceberg table since we are migrating from on-prem to cloud. Then we're going to register Iceberg table in the Glue catalog, and we're going to use Glue, as a Glue database, Glue as a catalog. That's where we're going to manage the Iceberg table. All update, insert, deletes to the Iceberg table are done through Glue catalog. Of course, we're going to use a Spark. Then we will try to read from Spark via Glue catalog, or also we're going to read directly from Spark. So, for example, some folks may not have access to Glue, and but other department running your Iceberg table through Glue, and then but you want to read it directly, right, from S3. I will show that on how to do that, a table registration, then how you're going to read the data without going through the Glue. Then we're gonna convert Glue catalog Iceberg table to a Delta table, right? So how to use the conversion process. There is also another video I have uploaded, but you can also see that, but I will continue again because there's an end-to-end process. Then we're going to convert into Hoodie too, so that way you have a multi-engine accessibility for your data, right? Then another demo later I will do how to create you already have a Iceberg table managed through Glue, but how you want to access this Glue catalog Iceberg table from Snowflake, right? Then we will, let's say if you don't have access to the Glue from Snowflake, but we will show how to access your Iceberg table from Snowflake using object integration. So that's what we're going to show in the next demo. Okay, so why, right? And why I'm using this approach? And some folks, they use some tools, Filetran, then any ETL drag and drop tool, but you don't need, and we can make it easy the process here. So it should be straightforward process, migrating on-prem Parquet files to Icehouses or Lakehouse. It should be a straightforward process, and you don't need a complex tools. Then this process allows you the architecture basically allows you to enhance scalability, flexibility, cost efficiency for a cloud environment, because you have a single file format on storage, of course, your S3, whatever clouds, or maybe in Azure ADLS, but many engines and can read the same data, and you're allowing flexibility here and also scalability, because different departments may be using different tools, right? Then some tools are good on some processing. If you want to do machine learning on your Iceberg tables, yeah, so that's on your particularly on your data, right? So here I'm going to do step-by-step migration procedure to various Icehouses, ensuring a seamless transition. Okay. Then you will, by end of the demo, you will clear understanding at every step of the migration. Then you can implement your projects. Okay. What is an Icehouse? An Icehouse is an Iceberg table, and then any Spark engine, right, whether the EMR Spark engine or Databricks Spark engine or your own Spark engine or any SQL, like for example Remio SQL, who can manage your Iceberg table or read your Iceberg table, we call as an Icehouse, right? Okay, so before migrating to cloud, you need to understand your source data, of course Parquet files, then what is your Hive table DDL, then you need to know what is your cloud storage. And here I'm going to demoing on AWS. Then your target catalog and engine, which is an Icehouse, right? So are you looking at EMR glue catalog, right? Are you looking at Snowflake, right? Within the Snowflake, you have a Snowflake catalog, or you're gonna use the object catalog. So the Snowflake catalog is the one managing your Iceberg table. So all updates, deletes are done through Snowflake. But object catalog is the read-only of an Iceberg table, which is managed by some other engine. Polaris coming soon. So right now, then we're gonna use Xtable to convert Iceberg to Delta warehouse, Delta Lakehouse, so that then your Databricks can read it, or then maybe Hoodie. Then also we're gonna use Dremio, which has an SC catalog. So Dremio is the Arctic engine can read your Iceberg tables. And then Cloudera Hive catalog. Yes, if you have a table, then Cloudera can read. You can register in Hive catalog. So these are the things, right? So here, if you look at here, many catalogs, right, or many engines, many catalog, corresponding catalog, but same file, same data file, one table, right? You can manage your data. So one storage, one table format, many engines. Okay. So you have a Hive tables, which are in Parquet format. Keep repeating the Parquet here. Iceberg supports ORC too, but when we deal with different engines like Snowflake or Databricks or Dremio or other engines, they support only Parquet. So if you want to, your Iceberg table want to be converted into Icehouse, you need all files in the Parquet format. So even if you have a ORC, no worries, right? You create an Iceberg table, but your Iceberg table default is a Parquet format. Then run your compaction. So then all your ORC files will be converted into the Parquet files. Then we run the expire snapshot, then get rid of the old files. You can do that, right? But it's a multi-step. But preferably make sure you have a Parquet files. But if your Hive table is already also ORC, then which is fine. But you have some problem with the Icehouses. Then at the same time, a Iceberg table can manage ORC Parquet together at the same time. So we can have both files in the same directory, both formats in the same directory. So once you have files, then we're gonna run a Spark, either your EMR Spark or your standalone Spark, whichever your container serverless container-based Spark engine. Then we're gonna convert into Iceberg. So here we're gonna use a Hadoop catalog. So that way, then it's migrating to different engines is easy, or different catalogs, right? Different engines and catalog. Once we convert into Iceberg table, we can integrate with the Snowflake. So let's say Snowflake is managing your Iceberg table, then you can convert that one to Snowflake catalog table. But if Snowflake is just want to read only, then you're going to do object integration catalog table. Okay. Or you want to manage through your EMR and Glue. Yes, register the table into Glue, and then EMR is managing your table. Or you want to manage the table Cloudera public cloud, you can do that too, right? So then you attach that to Cloudera Hive catalog, right? Or Dremio SC catalog, right? Dremio engine Dremio Icehouse can manage your Iceberg table. Or you want to read that data by Databricks, or you want to convert into a Delta table, you can use Xtable, which is from OneHouse, right? Or if you have a streaming application running and you want to convert into Hoodie, you can do that too. By the way, you can convert Hoodie back to Iceberg, or Hoodie to Delta to Hoodie, in any combination. Or you can also do incremental. Let's say you keep updating your data in one of these engine and updating Iceberg, then you continuously run in your Xtable. Yeah, you can keep up with the changes here. Then Database can read the most recent Iceberg data in a Delta format. You can do that. Okay. So what are the migration steps? We're going to create a AWS bucket. Of course, you need to make sure that it should have a credentials, and then we're gonna copy Hive Parquet files to AWS bucket. Then of course, when you are copying, make sure that if you have a partition Hive table, then make sure that you sync up the same partitions, right, as is. Then you set up EMR Spark or any Spark, okay, using Hadoop as a catalog, because we need to test it, right, for migration. So create Iceberg table. Then you can create, let's say you want to store in a Glue catalog, you can create a database, and or even Hadoop catalog, right? Create a database, create a Iceberg table, and after that, and the files location, then you add files procedure, then you will have a Iceberg table ready, right? So you create an empty Iceberg table, you have already files copied from your on-prem, right? And then you using add files, then automatically it builds the meta layer. So basically it's going to build a manifest file, manifest list, and metadata JSON files. And then validate the data, and then start creating Icehouses, right? Where do you want to? Do you want to integrate with Snowflake, or do you want to integrate with Glue or Cloudera or Dreamio or Trino or or Xtable conversion? Okay. So what are the Icehouses we got to think of, right? EMR, Glue catalog, read write, right? Snowflake, if you want to use the Snowflake Iceberg catalog, which does read write, but if you do integration with object catalog, then read only. And right, but let's say you want to Snowflake integrate with the Glue catalog. So for example, Glue is managing it, but Snowflake can read. You can do that. So I will show that in the future demo. Polaris, of course, coming soon. We still don't know all the information, but it's going to be REST catalog. Or Databricks, okay? Let's say you have a Databricks running on your organization, but you want to use Glue data, or you want to use Iceberg table as in a Delta format, you can use Xtable. But we'll see how it changes with tabular integration with the Databricks later. Of course, Dreamio, you can use Nessie catalog, then read write, but again, Cloudera, Hive catalog. So these are options we have. So these are Icehouses, right? Engine catalog, EMR, Glue, Snowflake, and their Iceberg catalog. Databricks convert into Xtable, and they have Hive catalog, and then Unity catalog now, I would say. And Dreamio, Nessie catalog, Cloudera, Hive. So you can integrate all these to one Iceberg table, right? That's the beauty of it. Okay. So let's go to the step-by-step procedure. Okay, I already set up my credentials. So before you start your Spark submit or your AWS CLI, make sure that you set up your access key, access ID, and region. Okay, let's run. So these are my files, right? Right now I'm showing a simple Hive table, which is not partition, but the procedure is the same. Now these are the files available. So we're going to copy those Parquet files into my AWS. Okay. So here, I'm just deleting because I'm keep practicing again, right? And then I'm going to copy list. Okay. These are the files. Now I'm going to my AWS and look at S3. Okay. And this is my bucket here. Now prod, orders table, data, and then these are my files. Now look at this one, prod, orders, data. And now I staged my files. And so this is how you just copy. So you're going to use just simple AWS command. Nothing fancy here. AWS S3 copy command, then from your local to cloud. This is simple the way you do in Unix. Only thing you have to provide AWS. Okay, so next we did the copy files done. Next we're going to do convert Parquet file to an Iceberg table. That means we're going to attach these Parquet files data to an Iceberg table. So let's walk through those steps. Okay, so we have these files ready, and I'm going to set up my Spark session. Okay, so here I'm using the Spark. You have to set up all your jar files, and then I'm using Iceberg 1.43. You can use any Iceberg. Latest one is 1.5, and then I'm using Hadoop catalog, right? And once we do that, so let's run again. Okay, now I'm going to create a database in Hadoop catalog, right? Some in any database name, and make sure you're using a Spark catalog here, the Spark session catalog to create a database. Then let me check if I have the table. If the table exists, drop it. Then okay, show me namespaces and catalogs, right? Yeah, I have two names, which is nothing but database here. And so I'm going to create a order table. Okay, we will discuss these in other what are the Iceberg table properties. I'm going to set up a separate YouTube on it. Okay, I'm going to create that table. Okay, now let's check my data. Right now I don't have data, right? And then let's check the directory structure. Now look at this one. This is the new directory structure added. So in Iceberg, the data, data is in the data directory, the Parquet files. Then you have a metadata directory where you have a metadata JSON and version files and all the stuff, right? So now you have so you have the a table which is empty, and you have files ready. So that's the first step. The next thing what we need to do is we're going to add those files. That means we're going to attach those files, so these files, right, to your table. Okay, let's go to same thing. I created a separate notebooks just for presentation. I can do everything in this notebook too, but for easy use. Okay, so here let me look at check the table. Okay, and right, check the count. I don't have any data. Then what we do is we're gonna attach the files, right? Look at the files, add files procedure. So this is our table, right? And for this table, we're gonna have files are here in this directory, right? Then we're gonna attach. These are the Parquet files. If you have a ORC files, right? Initially, yeah, you can use ORC here, right? But you cannot have ORC, some ORC initially. We cannot have that, but later you can have combination. Okay, so and then add files. Okay, now we're going to attach those files, right? So now based on the size of the directories or number of files and number of directories, if you have a partition, this process takes time. Of course, you're going to use a bigger cluster. Right now it's a tiny cluster, single executor. So now files are attached, right? Then now okay, let's check the count. I have 5 rows, right? Now this is my data. So now I have an Iceberg table sitting on S3 using Hadoop catalog. Now let's go to the S3. Okay. Now if you go to metadata directory, right, now we will see snapshots, right? The snapshot, then the version file. So because all are attached to one single snapshot, that's why we have a one snapshot, right? Then the metadata JSON version v3. Okay, so this is how you're gonna add the files. Now we have an Iceberg table ready in using Hadoop catalog. Okay, this is what we did as of now. Okay, we created an Iceberg table. Okay, then now let's say no one uses Hadoop as a catalog for production purpose because it doesn't allow you concurrency, and that doesn't do good job on ACID and all the stuff. So what we're going to do is and we're gonna attach this. Iceberg table from Hadoop catalog to Glue catalog. Okay. So basically, going forward, Glue is the one managing updates, insert, deletes. So your Spark connects to Glue. From there, you're gonna do that. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so here and register Glue, right? Similar Spark session, and here I have a method. Give me the latest metadata JSON file. We'll discuss that one. Okay. So here, simply I'm attaching to the Glue, the Glue catalog, and then Glue implementation here. If you look at, so if you look at here, Glue catalog and Glue 5 IO. Then I want to do Databricks and Cloudera, Dreamio, and all the things, but I ignore all this part. But here, I'm going to use a Glue catalog, and okay. By the way, this name can be anything you want, and I'm sure by this time you will be knowing in Iceberg, this catalog name can be anything. But here we are using a Glue catalog, right? Spark catalog, Glue catalog, okay. And then let's look at the databases in my Glue. So now I'm connecting to Glue, right? So before we go to here, let's go to the Glue, right? And I don't have any database here in my Glue, right? Now there's a default database, right? This is for maintenance the schemas and all the stuff, but information schema, they are different, but nothing there. Is when you have empty database by itself is property. We're going to create a prod database. Then we're going to use the prod. Then we want to see the tables, right? I don't have any table, and then but still I'm just run on drop if exists. Then of course no table. Now what we're going to do is we're going to register our Hadoop Iceberg table into Glue. Okay, so for that, this is my bucket, and this is my table location, metadata location. I want to get the latest metadata JSON file. Okay, so v3 is my latest metadata JSON. Now let's go here into my S3, right? And then here go to our prod and orders and metadata, and if you look at the latest metadata JSON is v3. So I wrote a simple method, get latest metadata JSON file, give the bucket name, give the prefix, then it goes to my bucket, and then this is directly get the latest metadata. So this is my latest metadata JSON for my orders table. So what we will do is, right, so from the Spark session, of course, and we're going to register table. So there's a procedure called register table, and then this is my table name, right? I'm going to register this is as a table. Right now I don't have the table, and this table name can be anything you want, but preferably, because it's order table, we also call order table here, because it's order table, then we call the same table name. But you can call glue table or glue orders or whatever, right? So let's run. So now here my register table, the table name, my location of the metadata, right? So now I'm going to register into my Glue. Okay, now show me the tables. Now I have an order table in my Glue. Now let's go to the Glue here. Okay, now I have order table, right? Of course, pointing to this prod orders directory. Okay, now let's get in here. Now let's query. Now I can execute. Now I'm executing through via Glue because my Spark session. Now let's check the files. Yeah, same Parquet files which we copied. If you look at your table.files, table.data files, right? For example, you can do data files. Then it will show all the table. all files, data files, because you have all files if you are time travel, expiration, all the things. So read about what is the difference between all files, data files, files. Okay. So this is how you register. Now we have an architecture right now. Your table is like this. Okay. Using this Spark, right? Now we attach. Now you then you can use EMR Spark, or still you can use your own Spark too. Glue is just a catalog, right? So this is how you are. We have migrated from a Hive to Parquet, copy Parquet files, create an Iceberg, then register into Glue. So now if you look at here, any Spark, right? For example, EMR Spark or your Spark, and then update, insert, delete, and into your Iceberg. So this is how you migrate. Okay. So let's say I have a team. They want to read this. My someone keep on updating, deleting, and other stuff, but I don't have access to Glue, and then they want to read directly from. For example, let's say this EMR is updating and deleting this my Iceberg table, but the Spark guy, right, has no clue when this EMR is updating, when this deleting and other things are happening here. But he want to not he or she or whoever the Spark team want to read this table, right? Then how do you do that, right? Initially we use this Spark in your standalone Spark to create an Iceberg table, but the EMR via Glue is modifying the data. But how do you read it? So I'm going to walk through that step. Okay. Okay. So here, same as your Spark session, nothing fancy here. As I said, you connect to your Spark, your AWS via Spark. Then remember we use the register table concept. Same thing here, right? And temporarily you find out the most recent metadata JSON, right? Same thing, and then you're going to register it, right, directly, right? And then you're going to register temporarily, and then right now I'm going to call it the order start temp. Then you're going to create. Okay. What is the error here? Okay, so I'm going to call one. Somehow maybe the table already exists, because I was testing. Now let's run. Okay, I have 5 rows. Okay, describe. Yeah, then now this is pointing to this table, and right, or you can read the table directly from Spark like this. Since you already registered this table, now you can execute, right? Or you can do select star from, right? For example, here this is SQL way, and here this is an Iceberg Spark read. So now another Spark session, right? Reading this, another Spark session reading this table, right? Now let's say if a Glue updates the data. Now let's go to, right? Let's say a Glue, right? Now let's go to here, add data to Glue. Okay, so here I am connecting to Glue. Okay, my Glue table, right? Now let's look at my Glue table. I mean my order table in Glue. Okay. Okay. How many rows? We have 5 rows, right? One snap. Now I'm going to insert a row. Then I'm going to check now I have a 6 rows. Now I execute it. Okay. Now, then let's look at the snapshots, right? Yeah, you have, right? and look at the number of files here. Okay, 6 files. Now let's go back to my Spark read, right? And then, right? But still 5 rows, because this Spark session do not have any information when the glue is updated, right? So every time when you run from Spark, right, you need to drop this table, re-register it, right, and then you can do that. So let's re-register in a different way. Okay, now let's run this. Now look at this one. Now it has a different metadata JSON. Now I'm going to re-register, right? Now look at, it has 6 files. 6 files. Let's run the count. Now let's describe the table. Same, right? Now I'm going to run the count. Select star. Now we have an additional row. So when this Spark session is read only, right? Going back here, this Spark guy is read only. But every time you want to read this Iceberg table, which is managed by Glue, you always need to re-register or refresh. We call refresh. Or in Snowflake we call refresh, but here re-register. So that's how you do that. Okay. So this is how many engines, for example, this EMR engine managing it, then your own Spark team can read it, then they can do their own ETL process, or of course they can't write it anyhow. You don't want to write multi engines in the same table. Only one engine writes, other engines can read. Okay, so this is how we are achieved our architecture as of now. So here from now we have Glue continuously updating, deleting, then you can read from any Spark. Okay, next. Okay, so that's what we did, read S3 data from Iceberg table. Okay, so this is the one we did, so the read process. Okay, now we want to convert our Iceberg table to Delta X table, right? Then you add data into Glue, then run the incremental load. Okay. What is the next table? X table is a universal converter, put it that way, very easy, right? Is bidirectional. That means you can convert delta to Iceberg, Iceberg to delta, delta to Hoodie, Hoodie to delta, and delta to Iceberg. Any direction you want to, which is managed by On-House. And so you use that to convert any versions, and then other engines can use it. So here I have my Iceberg table. Okay, now this is my Glue table, right? Glue table is in where is my Glue table, right? Glue table is part database, and then my Glue table location. Let's go to right, prod database, and then prod and orders table and all that stuff. So here then I'm going to tell where is my Glue table. Okay, then we're going to set up some okay, here what is this catalog? Okay, I think, let me check. I was keep testing yesterday. Okay, and not the config, I need a catalog. So basically here, this one explains what is the catalog implementation. Because I'm using a glue, we need to tell the X table, what is your table format, your source, and then how you want to convert, and then how to migrate, where is the location of the table, and then we will do that. This is how the conversion this is catalog. Once we have this ready, right, and what we need to do is we're gonna execute our conversion process. Okay, so we're gonna run this conversion process here. So we already have a jar files and all the information. Check other glue Xtable conversion video. Then I did the explain all this jar file information. Okay, so we're going to convert. Okay, so what it does is it is converting Iceberg table to Delta table. Okay, so now let's check on to our S3. Okay, and then your prod, then your orders table, and let's keep running it. Let's wait for it. Okay, it's converted. Okay, now let's run on. Okay, so now look at here, right? It created a delta JSON file. Okay, let's go to here, because prod, not this guy, prod db orders data log, right? Because this is a glue table. And now okay, so now my Iceberg table is converted into delta using the Xtable conversion. Let me read through a delta configuration. Now look at here, I'm using delta catalog, right? So I'm using a glue catalog to write, and here I'm using a delta catalog to read, right? And so let's go to here. Okay, so here this is my table, order table, but I'm using a delta format. Previously, remember from the Spark, I did the Iceberg format to read it. Okay, so it's reading the, so yes, we know we have 7 rows. Okay, let's go to add data glue again. We're going to add more data to glue Iceberg table. Okay, okay, so this is our data. What it will be here? Let's go here. Here I'm adding more data. Now I have 10 rows, right? Now when we go to delta one more, so I added the data here, and let's run this guy. But still showing only 7 rows because we have not done the. Now let's do incremental conversion. So exactly same thing, no change. There is no separate script need to run for. You rerun the Xtable conversion again. Okay, it is running. But while it is running, we can check the directory structure here. Okay. So now it's okay, add one more JSON file, the delta JSON. Now it is completed here. Conversion. Now let's run the count. Again, the same df.show. Now you can see the new data we have. Now let's look at the files here. Now we have a two JSON file. Now let's run one more insert into glue table, glue iceberg table. I mean, keep using the word glue table, but it's a glue iceberg table. Now let's run the count or show, right? Same data, right? But we're going to run one more time the incremental process. So the point I'm trying to say is you have an iceberg table managed through glue, keep uploading data, and then then whenever you complete your load process through glue, then EMR, Spark EMR and glue, then you can run immediately after you run the load process, run your X table conversion, then you have your files are your data ready in a delta format. Now look at, I have 3. Now let's run this. Okay, so now we see more data here. So this is how you convert your iceberg to delta. Okay. So next, this is what we did. Let's go walk through. Yeah, this is what we did here, right? Yeah, I did not put EMR, but yeah, if you think about, we use the X table Java procedure, then we convert into delta so Databricks can read it, or a Spark delta can also read it. Okay. Next, we're going to convert into Hoodie. Okay, let's go to Hoodie. Again, so from iceberg to Hoodie. Previously, it is iceberg to delta. Of course, you can do both in the same script. You can run delta, then you can run iceberg. Hoodie in the same. Just I want to show the demo, right? And let's run it. Then same. Now here, everything is same, right? Except your configuration. Basically, we are saying as a Hoodie, but you can combine everything in one place. So here I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to run conversion. Exactly same. Only difference is, you're telling convert into Hoodie, but you can convert Hoodie and delta in same time, right? Continuous way. Okay. So now let's run our location, right? Now if you look at, now it is adding a Hoodie directories. Okay, so it's running Hoodie, and then Hoodie has its own metadata and all that stuff. So now one table, right, one file system, which is a Parquet. Now I have iceberg, I have a delta, I have a Hoodie. Now choose your engine, right? Or you can convert in whichever. But one important thing is only one engine, right, manages your so engines manages your EMR is the one managing it. Okay, so let's go back to one more. So what we did is today we copied from on-prem to Parquet files. We created an iceberg table using a Spark, right? Then then we created a glue table. We attached that Spark iceberg table to glue. Then we inserted data using Spark into glue. Then automatically iceberg table is updated, inserted, deleted, and then we registered the table temporarily, and then we were able to read it, and then we converted into X table using X table as a Databricks delta table or a Hoodie table, and we also tested incremental. So this is how your migration process you should plan. And any questions, let me know. Send me an email. Then next, I'm going to walk through later in another video. We already have iceberg table, but then I want to use Snowflake, right? Now here I'm going to use Snowflake, and I want to convert into Snowflake catalog, because we decided we're not going to use EMR, but I want to use Snowflake. Then how we do that? Then or EMR Glue is still managing it, but Snowflake want to do read only. How to do that? So we will do that in the next session. But right now, yeah, this is what you learn. So on-prem to any ice house, right? Okay. So thank you all reaching out to me, and good luck. Bye now.